Hello, this is Dr. Laura. My husband and I are here. I said I was going to do some reviews and stuff. And so we're here. This is our last day on the cruise. And this I know is for my everyday life with Dr. Laura page and just talking about my everyday living. You may be interested or maybe not. You may be interested in cruising and want to know how was it or what ship I'm on and what about the food and other things. But that's what I'm going to talk about. My husband, as you can see here, I'm going to let you take a glimpse of him. Yeah. Oh, there he is. The sun is in front of me, so I couldn't quite see. But you see what he's doing, right? Anyway, we are on the Carnival Freedom. Carnival Freedom is a wonderful ship, large ship. It houses about, as they call it, the hotel on water. It houses about 3,200 plus people. And it's a full ship, so there are a lot of people. But one thing about a ship of this size and caliber is that because of the size of the ship, pretty much there's places for everyone. So you don't have to worry about thinking, oh my goodness, it's going to be crowded everywhere. Of course, there are times where you're going to see people. But for the most part, the ship is so huge that, you know, we're out here. I think you may not have seen the background, but look, we're out here. And I mean, how many people you see out here? There's no one this way. There's no one. Few people back in that area there sitting. That's it, right? Inside the cafeteria or the restaurant, you'll see a few people. A lot of people out by the pool, by the deck. But guess what? We went on a cruise last year, about 5 months ago actually, on a smaller cruise ship called Paradise. I like the Paradise, but not as much as some of the other ships I've been on. It was probably, to be honest with you, the least liked ship. It was probably the least liked of my ships that I've cruised on before in the past, and I think mainly because of the size. I'm glad we cruised on the Paradise, because I think it allowed me to see that I prefer larger ships like this here. All of the other ships we cruised on before were the larger size ships. Now, you may prefer the smaller ones. Not that there was anything wrong with Paradise. It was just as nice. They're all, of course, I need to say this, clean. I'm so glad that they have staff dedicated to keeping everything so clean. Paradise was small. What I mean when I say that was, of course, it was, you know, the number of people was less because the ship was smaller. But the biggest thing for me is navigating the ship. Although the larger ships, listen, I still haven't, I know I haven't been every place on this ship. And it's okay. I wasn't trying to do an extensive tour of going every single place, because I didn't need to be every single place on the ship anyway. But the places I went to, I did notice that, like I said, navigating is hard. The Posh restaurant, I must share, I have gotten lost every single time I try to go to that particular restaurant for lunch. For breakfast, excuse me. I was like, the last time I almost gave up. I said, if I get lost one more time trying to find a Posh restaurant, we just gonna go to Lido. And anybody's been cruising Carnival know Lido deck is where you get all your food, the buffet at. I like the restaurant because, you know, I like the idea of sitting and relaxing and someone not only just bringing, you know, food to my table, and me just sitting and reading and drinking coffee and whatever. But I also like the presentation. I'm big on presentation. I'm not a chef, but I love presentation. So when they, you know, bring you food and they plate it so well and it's just beautiful, I love that. You know, and I just feel like I'm being well taken care of, and I like that. I love feeling like I'm being well taken care of, and I love feeling like I'm taking care of myself. So, because of that, I like going to the restaurant. So on a Carnival, we have the Posh. That is that's the particular restaurant where you actually check in for your particular time to eat dinner, lunch, breakfast, not lunch, breakfast and dinner. And the restaurant that I frequent, I'll be going there tonight, is the Chic Restaurant. And at the Chic Restaurant, that is actually where those are the folk that do anytime dining, and you can just go anytime from 6 to 9:30 once you check in. I like that because I don't like to be locked into time, only because I don't know what I might be doing. I might want to do something and then I'm signed up to be at dinner at 5:30, 6 o'clock. And if that would have happened this time, it would have been a mess. I probably would have missed dinner on every opportunity. So I just decided, well, we always decide to just do anytime dining. So, which is in a different restaurant, the Chic Restaurant, which is much easier to find. So anyway, this ship, of course, like most, has 2 restaurants in it. I love this ship again, as I said, in comparison to the Paradise. Paradise had a lot of young people on it, which is fine because people want a vacation with their kids, and that's wonderful. That should happen. I think that what kind of created a feeling of the ship being overwhelmed with young people was because, and that was the feeling, and it was only because they only had like 2 little small pools in the front of the ship, and they were just loaded. Adults couldn't get in, and there was just a lot of young people running kind of all over the ship. This ship here is also, there's a lot of young people on this particular ship, but guess what? There's so much to do because the ship is so huge. So the front, there's 2 jacuzzis or hot tubs. There's 2 hot tubs on the top, the Serenity, which is where the adults only are allowed, and that's where they go and relax and sleep. My husband and I do this likewise. We go up there and relax and just take naps and stuff. Then the very back of the ship, then there's a big pool, of course, in the main area where they watch movies and stuff like that. And then when you go to the very back of the boat, there's another pool. So listen, there's plenty of space. That's what I'm saying. And then, they also have a huge water slide. I can't say for young people because some adults like to do fun stuff too like that for the water slides. And then they have a tennis court, they have a basketball court, there's a walking track, there's mini golf. Come on, y'all. So listen, this is what I'm saying. In comparison to the perhaps smaller ships like Paradise, there's just way more to do. And what then happens is it allows the people to be really spread out on the ship. Everybody's not in the same place for the most part, at the same time. And of course, the shows, the people are into shows. They have shows and they have a lot of things. So I'm looking forward to doing a survey. They had this really cute 80s show, and it was fun. They played some songs from the 80s, and they danced and they sang. Those who were actually participating, actually in the show, they could sing very well, dance very well. You could tell they worked so hard. The 80s show, there was only 2 things I wish maybe not 2. One thing I wish they would have done a little bit, not differently, but maybe added. They were doing songs from the 80s, and I was in high school in the 80s, right? Part of the 80s, not all the 80s, part of the 80s, without aging myself. And what I do remember is rap was a big thing. And I'm like, how they gonna roll up in the 80s and not near one rap song? Come on, somebody. So I'm gonna put that on my review. Can y'all just throw at least one rap song? You don't have to even play the whole song. It's just a little something, right? But other than that, it was a wonderful show, and I can see their hard work, and I'll put that on the survey. I thought they did that so excellently well. The other thing I'm going to list on my review is they have things for everybody. They have mixers for all different groups of people. They have a club for all ages, as far as like teenagers. I didn't know the pre-teens and teens had a club. They got a club for them. I'm sure ends at certain times, reasonable times. But of course, we do know that they're always going to have a club space for adults. So they have all of that. My question is, listen, while the workshops are good and we all attend those, but can we have something for the Christians? Can we have a Bible trivia? Can we have, I'm not asking for y'all to do service and lay hands on people so that the sick can be healed. I'm not asking for all of that. But I am asking, you got groups for everybody else. Can we have a group can we have I'm not even going to call it a Christian mixer. We don't want that either. Because I know what that can turn out to be. But can we just have a group where the saints can come together and maybe just sing some songs or something? Songs from Zion. I don't know. But I'm going to put that on my survey because I think that matters. So if somebody says, well, I'm talking about the Christians, I am. Somebody might say, well, the Muslims may want to come together and sing. I don't have a problem with that. If they want to join together with their like-minded beliefs, I'm okay with that. I just think maybe at the same time, they'll just have all faiths. This group goes to that group to sing some songs. The other one go to play trivia. I don't know. I'm just saying, that's just my idea, right? And I'm entitled to it. So I am going to share that. As I said, they have groups for everybody else on this ship, as well as the others, you know. Like I said, I was on a cruise 5 months ago, and the same thing. They have all kind of activities for everybody, every group, but nothing to cater to people of faith, you know. People of faith, we like to travel. There are Christian cruises, but everybody cannot pay $2,000 and $3,000 per person for a Christian cruise. I'm just being real. Can I do that, right? So this may be more affordable, and it is for us. And so we shouldn't have to go to a Christian cruise and pay $3,000 when we can come to this cruise. I mean, we're enjoying everything else. We're seeing everything else, even some stuff we may not want to see, but we're having to see it anyway. So, you know, can you just include us in on something? And I can see those who can relate to me, because most often you see them sitting around, there's people watching. God bless you, sir. Most often you see them sitting around, people watching and waiting to go to shows and trying to stay out of the way of a lot of the other stuff that's happening around here. But anyway, listen, I've said a whole lot in this review, but hit me up if you've ever traveled on the Carnival Freedom or any other Carnival cruises or any other cruises. Someone shared with me some information about a different cruise line that my husband and I were actually talking about. So let me know what you think. All right, again, everyday living without the Lord. I'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye.